Beautiful. Bradley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Guy. It's really great to be here.
I know we were speaking off air just now about podcast episodes, and I think I'm up to 210 now on this show. So I've heard so many perspectives of people and their work, which is always keeping me on my toes, Bradley. And I've been genuinely excited to have you on the show today. And the opening question I've been asking a lot of people lately is, if you were at the dinner table and you were sitting next to a stranger and they asked you what you did for a living, what would you say?
Well, I am an instructor. I'm a teacher. Everything that's happened to me in my life has prepared me to bring a new healing work into the world that has everything to do with energy medicine, that's simple and accessible and easy for anyone of any age, really, almost to do. I mean, kids can do it. And yet it's incredibly powerful. It's all about, number one, it's about our emotional baggage. And our emotional baggage consists of those energies, of the emotions that we've experienced that have been powerful in our lives, the grief and the sadness and depression and resentment and frustration and so on. When we experience those emotions, sometimes that energy is powerful enough that it becomes trapped in the body. And our bodies are really just made of energy. We're beings of pure energy. And so when those emotional energies become trapped in the body, then they want to make their presence known to us somehow, and they will. The most common way that they make their presence known is through physical pain. In fact, about 90% of all the physical pain that people have is actually due to their emotional baggage. Wow. So think about that. If you're listening to this right now and you're feeling pain in your neck, or you've got a migraine, or your back is hurting, or your knee or something, there's a 9 out of 10 probability that pain is actually from maybe something that happened to you in a relationship, or maybe from when you were being bullied as a child, or maybe from a bad work situation that you went through. I mean, we all experience emotions every day, and sometimes they're hard to deal with. But when we talk about emotional baggage, what we're referring to is these emotional energies that inhabit our bodies that then cause symptoms. It is not only physical pain. Trapped emotions are the underlying cause of things like depression and anxiety and panic attacks and phobias and PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, eating disorder, self-sabotage of all kinds. Also, our emotional baggage, these emotional energies that become part of us, we now know are an underlying cause, a contributing factor to every disease process that human beings suffer from, or essentially almost every disease process that we've seen now in about 33 years.
Wow.
So how important is it to get rid of your emotional baggage? Well, it's really important because not only can it help you to feel better physically, not only can it help you to get rid of your physical pain, but also it can help you to get rid of all these other issues that are going on. And that's what's driving the global success, this phenomenon really of the emotion code with all the countries. You can see some of the countries that where the emotion code is printed in those languages here on the wall behind me. And there are more coming out all the time. And we have thousands, 10,000 plus testimonials we've gotten from people all over the world who have found that this actually works. So, we're very conditioned, especially in the West, to believe that if we have an ache or a pain or some kind of a symptom that's mental or emotional or physical, that we essentially have some kind of a drug deficiency. We need Vicodin, or we need Paxil or some kind of medication. But that's just the drug companies. That's the big pharma companies talking to us. It's their marketing firms that push those ideas. And those things are great sometimes. Sometimes you need a painkiller. Sometimes you need a medication. But most of the time, it's the emotional baggage that is causing a lot of these symptoms. And we're finding that out now. So that's the short elevator speech.
Yeah, but it's incredible. There's so many moments like 9 out of 10. I mean, that's
Yeah.
huge, huge. Now, when I look back upon my own life, like being from Wales, a rugby player, I had zero idea about my emotions. I had zero idea about my body in terms of that aspect, being connected to it, and actually have building a relationship with it, and having an understanding. I had to have my own wake up call, if you like, to go, oh, there's actually a lot more to this than meets the eye, and then start to investigate that. So I guess the next question for me is because I guess from the lens I've been looking through life for many of my years, I didn't even know this work existed, let alone was powerful and how effective it was. So if we're not taught this from a young age, how did you end up falling into this work or doing this work, and being so passionate about it? What was your,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, great question. Well, it really goes back to when I was 7 years old. Believe it or not, which is a long time ago now, but I was very, very sick with the measles. And I'd overheard my parents talking, and I knew the plan was that the next day I was going into the hospital into something that they referred to as an oxygen tent. And I didn't really know what that meant. The tent part of it sounded kind of interesting, but I was too sick to think about camping, really. So anyway, uh, everyone else had gone to bed. And my parents came into the room, and I remember this like it happened yesterday. My mother said to my father, she said, "Honey, will you kneel down and say a prayer for our boy so that he'll be able to get well?" And so they did. They knelt down by the side of the couch where I was lying, and my dad starts offering this prayer. Now, my dad wasn't a preacher. Um, he wasn't a healer. He was in construction and real estate. But he believed in God, believed in a higher power. So he's offering this prayer for me that I'll be able to get well. And in the middle of this prayer, all of a sudden, this miraculous thing happens where this change starts at the top of my head and it goes whoosh through my body to the soles of my feet, and I'm instantly healed. Now, to go from being really sick one moment to being completely, totally, vibrantly healthy in the next instant is so bizarre
Wow.
and so impossible. You can't ever forget it. And so that taught me that there's a higher power that we can draw upon. So when I was about 13 years old, I developed kidney disease. And it was kind of terrifying, honestly. I would get these terrible pains in the back that would knock me to the ground or take my breath away. And they would come out of the blue, totally at random. And my parents were very worried. I could see how concerned they were. They took me to the hospital. And I can remember the being in that hospital and what it looked like and how it smelled, and I knew that this was a strange journey that I was on, that I was really in trouble. I was starting to comprehend that when I got to the hospital, and they ran these tests on me, and they told my parents that I had kidney disease, and my mother shared with me years later that they had told them that it was about 50% fatal, and there was no treatment available for me at all. So my parents decided that they would take me to see some alternative doctors, and so they did. Now, these doctors traveled. They traveled around a bit from place to place, and when they were in our area, they actually practiced in a trailer house out in the middle of a wheat field on the edge of town. And but what I noticed when I went there is that sometimes there would be a busload of people leaving when we got there. So people in other states were chartering buses to come and visit these two doctors who were outside of the mainstream. Well, these people were really true healers, and they started working with me. And it didn't take long before the pains were much less frequent, much less severe. Within about a month, I think I'd forgotten that I'd ever been sick. And my parents took me back to the hospital. They ran all the tests. And they said, "Well, it's amazing. It's whatever we did must have helped. Spontaneous remission, etc." And I knew they hadn't done anything. And so I decided at 13 I wanted to go into the healing arts and become a doctor. And so I did. It was kind of a long roundabout road. It was an answer to prayer to go to chiropractic school, which is what I did. And when I got out of school, I felt like God had gotten me into this, and so maybe He would help me. And I felt like I needed all the help that I could get. So I started this habit, And the habit was that when somebody would come in, before I would work on them, I would take a moment and just offer a short prayer and ask God to help me with that person. And then I would work on them. And the interesting thing about it is, Guy, there were times, not many, but there were times when I would immediately get an answer to that prayer, and the information would suddenly sometimes just flood into me like an avalanche of understanding and data. And that was amazing, but that didn't happen very many times. I mean, I practiced for about 20 years, and I can count on one hand the number of times it was dramatic like that. But most of the time when we're asking for help from above, we all believe different things, and that's fine. But most of the time when we get those answers, they come in the form, I think, of maybe a little thought or a very gentle kind of an impression or an idea that we might have that we usually think are just our own brilliance, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, what I learned during those years in practice was that all of my patients, no matter how young or old they were, no matter what they were suffering from, they all had certain things in common. And one of the things that they had in common was that they all were suffering from what I came to call emotional baggage, or these emotional energies that get stuck in our bodies. And I saw some really amazing things that helped to guide me on that journey. One of the first really powerful experiences that I had was where a woman came in to see me, and she thought she was having a heart attack. And I'd seen her before, but it had been a couple of months. Anyway, she comes in one day. The left side of her face is completely numb. Her left arm is completely numb. She's got this crushing chest pain and difficulty breathing. Well, looks like a heart attack, right? I told my staff, hey, we might need an ambulance, so stand by. But I took her into my treatment room and I started doing some testing on her. And within about a minute, using the emotion code, I found out that she had a trapped emotion that was contributing to all of this symptom set of what looked like a heart attack. And the emotion was grief. And we get answers from the subconscious mind, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute here. But I was able to figure out that this had originated and gotten stuck in her body, this little bit of emotional baggage, this trapped emotion, 3 years before. And when I arrived at that, she burst into tears. And she said, I can't believe that's affecting me. I thought I dealt with all that. And I said, well, what in the world happened to you? She said that 3 years before, she found out that her husband had been having an affair. And so she confronted him with the evidence, and the marriage blew up, and it was very, very sad, very heartbreaking for her, because she really was deeply in love with this guy. And he betrayed her, and so she cried lots of tears. And so the emotional energy of that grief was still there. But she thought it was behind her. I mean, she had been to therapy for a year dealing with it, and had even recently gotten remarried. So as far as she was concerned, that ex-husband was just her ex, and he was just, the guy that betrayed her, and was very sad. As far as her body was concerned, that energy of that grief that was so big back then was still there, and it was actually contributing to creating all these symptoms that would have put her in the hospital. So I released that trapped emotion, which just takes literally just seconds. And within about 3 seconds, the feeling came back into her arm and into her face. The chest pain was gone. The difficulty breathing was gone. And she left the office about 10 minutes later after joking with me and my staff. She was feeling totally fine. And I remember sitting at my desk after she left thinking, wow, what did I just witness? And you see, trapped emotions can cause these physical symptoms like that. And I think that she would have been one of those people that would have died of a heart attack.
Wow.
I think her heart would have failed. She would have literally died of a broken heart, but nobody would have put the pieces together to know that what really killed her was her husband's affair, right? And she's still alive, and we're still in touch, and she has a horse ranch in Oregon.
Amazing.
That was many years ago.
Could that lady have done something different during that process to have prevented her coming to almost having a heart attack and being in so much pain in the first place, do you think? Or do we just hold on to this stuff?
Well, we hold on to things. Sometimes things will release spontaneously. There are ways that we can remove our emotional baggage. There are things we can do. Um, if we do lots of exercise, we do lots of meditation, we do lots of soul searching, and we make an effort to let things go, that can help. But she spent a year in therapy trying to deal with it all, and yet that
Mm.
energy was still there. Cognitive type therapies are great, but they don't really remove the energy that's trapped. And that's what the emotion code is really about. You see, here's how it works. If you think about the human body, what is it really? Well, take a look at your hand, for example. If you magnify your hand under a big enough microscope, and you keep zooming in, pretty soon the hand disappears, and you're looking at what might look like a lunar landscape. And then as you keep zooming in and zooming in, at about 850,000 power magnification, you might be looking at a strand of DNA. And if you keep zooming in on that at a million times magnification or more, eventually you're looking at an atom. And if you look inside the atom, you see there's really nothing in there. It's just empty space. And there's some little infinitesimally tiny energies that are zipping around, protons and electrons at the speed of light. And the next atom is a long distance away, but it's still your hand. So it's really interesting. There were some scientists that made some calculations recently. They said that if you could remove all the empty space from everybody's bodies in the world, you could fit all 7.8 billion of us into a little box the size of a sugar cube.
Wow.
Well, what are they really saying? What they're saying is that our bodies really are pretty much, they are entirely empty space and energy. And so it's kind of a weird concept, but that's what since Albert Einstein, that's what these scientists, these people who study quantum physics and quantum mechanics have been telling us. So when you're feeling an intense emotion, what happens on that same quantum level is that now those atoms are vibrating at a little bit of a different frequency, the frequency of anger or the frequency of grief or frustration or resentment or whatever it might be. And if that energy is too powerful, it can become trapped in the body. And so that's essentially how this works. It's pretty simple, but it's amazing how things can affect us. I want to share a testimony with you, or a testimonial from somebody. This was from a man named Justin in Romania, who worked on another guy named Mark. And here's what he said. He said, Mark was a professional singer, and he was having difficulties recording in the last months. He kept saying his voice was not the same. He was obsessed by having a lump in his throat for which he constantly received antibiotics from his medical doctor. I told him that we can try a different approach, and he agreed. The first emotion that came out was disgust from 6 months before, related to his fiancée, and it was lodged in his larynx. When I asked him what happened 6 months before, he burst into tears, saying that that was the time when he discovered that she was cheating on him. At that time, he remembered that from the same period, he started having voice problems. After he released about 4 emotions related to that event, he was feeling way better. And the same day, he went into his studio and recorded flawlessly. See?
Yeah.
So we carry emotional baggage with us, and it's just a fact of life. But getting rid of it is a way to better health and better relationships and more
Amazing.
abundance.
How does one then find, because you might not even be aware of it, right? So somebody could come into you and go, I don't know what the hell's going on. How do you then find where those trapped emotions are? Because I'm sure, especially after the last couple of years that we've had, there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of trapped emotions.
Right, exactly. Well, first of all, you have to understand that to get answers like this, we have to tap into the subconscious mind, because people don't remember much. I've lost my car in a parking lot before.
Yes.
You ever done that?
Many times, yeah.
It's kind of sad, right? It's a big thing to lose, right? A car weighs several thousand pounds. So, well, anyway, we have this conscious mind, which is where we spend all of our waking hours and where we have our relationships and we take our classes and we work our jobs and so on. But then there's another part of us that's the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is the part of us that never sleeps. When we sleep, when we go to sleep, the conscious mind shuts off, but the subconscious keeps going. It never stops. And that's the part of you that is digesting your food and creating new cells and creating new hormones and doing all of these amazing things that are going on in our bodies all the time, keeping us alive. Well, the subconscious mind remembers everything about you. It remembers every face you've ever seen in a crowd, everything you've ever eaten or tasted or touched or smelled. The whole history of your health or disease is it's logged away or lodged in that subconscious mind. And so we can ask questions of the subconscious mind and we can get answers. I'm getting a little dry there. And how we do that is through muscle testing. Muscle testing is just a real simple form of biofeedback. So we can get answers. And how this works is, for example, if I were there with you right now, I could have you hold out your arm parallel to the floor. And if I ask you, is your name Guy? Or if you were to say, my name is Guy, if you were to make that statement, and then if I were to press down on your outstretched arm, you would be strong. On the other hand, if you were to tell a lie and say, my name is Jim, then if I were to press down on your outstretched arm, your arm would weaken and drop. Now, you can all try this. It's really interesting how this works. You try it with anybody. You can even have someone just say the word yes and press down on their arm and they'll be strong. If they say the word no, their arm will be weak. Because you see, that internal computer is basically a binary computer, and it can only answer yes or no. And so it's either a 1 or a 0, on or off. So what we do is we use different methods of muscle testing to ask questions and get answers. And it's amazing. It's amazing how accurate it can be. I remember once a woman came in to see me. She was 72 years old, and I started testing her and found that right away there was a trapped emotion of sadness that she had. And so I started asking questions. Well, did this occur in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? And through testing and getting it narrowed down a little bit, I was able to figure out that this trapped emotion of sadness had occurred in 1963. Well, in the US in 1963, that was when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And a terrible event that everybody who lived through that remembers. And when I mentioned that to her, that might be the cause of this trapped emotion, she broke down crying. And she said, yes, she said when his son, JFK Jr., died in the plane crash, she said it was like it all came back all over again. And all she could do for days was cry. And she couldn't work. She was just in mourning, grieving. Well, so I wanted to know, okay, this energy, you see, a trapped emotion is like a little ball of energy from about the size of a baseball to about the size of a softball or a small melon. And these will lodge in the body. They can lodge anywhere in the body. And I wanted to know, since 1963, where has this energy been lodged in her body? I wanted to know. And so you can find that out too. So I started asking questions. Well, is it on the right side of your body? No. It's on the left side of your body? Yes. Is it in the abdomen or below that? No. So is it in the chest area? Yes. And we found that trapped emotion, that ball of energy, that ball of sadness that originated in November 1963, was lodged right in the left breast area, in the chest, where she and I all of a sudden just looked at each other with wide eyes, because we suddenly realized that we remembered she had told me 4 years before she'd had that breast removed. because it was cancerous. Was that the cause of it? I think it probably was.
Wow.
And so you see, this is one of the things that happens to us is we carry emotional baggage from these events that we go through, and because they're in the past, we think that we're past them, but we're still carrying a lot of those energies with us.
That's amazing. Is there any determination why it gets held in certain parts of the body?
Well, yes, sometimes there is. Sometimes there can be metaphysical reasons. For example, let's say that you feel like you can't stomach what's going on in your life and in your relationship. Well, a trapped emotion that gets developed might actually go to the stomach. That's where that word comes from, or that connection. Sometimes people feel like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, and so trapped emotions may actually lodge in the shoulders or in the neck. Sometimes trapped emotions will lodge, though, in different areas because there is some kind of a weakness there. Maybe there's some kind of an injury in that area, or maybe there is some kind of weakness, maybe in the tissue. So you never know where they're going to go. The trapped emotions can literally lodge anywhere at all in the body, and so. Here's another interesting one. Listen to this one. This is from the same guy, one of our practitioners in Romania. He said Jane had an acute pain. On a 0 to 10 scale, the intensity was 10. It was in her left hip, and she was not able to walk. She was crawling through her home, screaming with pain. Being a medical doctor, she was convinced that she had sciatica, and for the pain, she would have taken a cortisone shot, cortisone infiltration therapy. I accepted the medical reasoning and still offered her a suggestion. I told her that she might consider that the pain could be from some emotional distress that she had suffered. She agreed to try my theory, and after we released about 6 trapped emotions, the pain disappeared completely. She felt a lot of anxiety for some public threats that her husband had been experiencing, is what the trapped emotions were about. She was baffled, and she said, "This can't be real." She walked a bit painlessly through the house in order for her mind to finally accept the
Yeah, wow.
miracle. The great science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke once said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. See, and that's kind of what this is like. It's not magic. It's just a very advanced technology. We use quantum physics. And there are many doctors, many prominent physicians and scientists who have said over the last 20 or so years that energy medicine is the future of medicine. It's the future. Pharmaceuticals is not the future. Energy medicine is. And I like to say that the emotion code is the future of energy medicine because it's so easy. Anybody can do it.
How are you? It's amazing. Like, how are you then moving that energy? Because are you using the self, or are you using technology, or are you using both? Do you think the future is going to move into technology more to be able to move that energy?
I think that the ultimate technology
Yeah.
really is these bodies and these computers that we have within us. I don't think that there will ever be technology that will be anywhere near as advanced as our own subconscious minds. I think that I just think that we've barely begun to scratch the surface about what our subconscious minds are actually capable of. So, I mean, think about it this way. We've certified almost
Wow.
9,000 practitioners in the emotion code in 80 countries around the world. Most of them, the vast majority of them, work with other people in other countries at a distance, many of whom they'll never actually meet, but whose lives they will, in many cases, have changed. Think about that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, it just keeps going and just keeps
Yeah.
going and
Do
going and
you
going.
honestly feel that the I guess are you hopeful for the future with all this work? Because I still, in my I go out to the world, like I spoke to you. I hold retreats, I'll hold workshops, and people come in, and they generally the majority of people are removed from their body. They're removed from anything beyond the thinking mind
Mhm.
and work with energy. And there's a traditional paradigm and system that we've been leaning into very heavily to resolve issues that are not being resolved. And when I hear you speak and when I run this podcast, I get very excited to think there is so much amazing people and amazing information out there. Surely the world's going to embrace this, surely. Or am I just being naive? I mean,
Well, yeah, I think that if you think about the American Revolution when it took place, the statistic was about a third of the people were pro liberty for America, about a third of the people were for remaining loyal to the crown, and about a third of the people were kind of in the middle to see which way the winds were going to blow. And I'd say that's probably a pretty good ratio of how things are going to go at any given time. But I'm tremendously optimistic. I think that what's happening in the world and what we see is this battle that's been going on. I believe since the world was created. This battle between the forces of light and the forces of darkness in this world. And the forces of darkness are highly organized in this world, and you can see there's a lot of weirdness, especially in the last 2 years. Right, we've seen how powerful that dark side can be, and yet the light always drives away the darkness. And there are prophecies in all kinds of books of scripture from ancient times and modern times, and lots of prophets that have lived throughout the years, and sages and wise men and people that have had dreams and visions and so on about what the future is really going to look like. And I think we're building up to a crescendo, but the forces of darkness they're not going to win. They're going to fail, and light is going to rule the day. And when we get past this era that we're in right now, where these forces of darkness are more powerful than they've ever been in the world, and they're trying to gain more power because they see what's happening, that people are waking up, and there's this consciousness shift that's going on the planet. And so naturally, the darkness wants to hold on to its power, and it'll do that any way that it can through vaccine passports and controlling everybody through a social credit system and so on. And that's what they want to install in the world. But they're going to fail. And when we get to the other side of that, we're going to be stepping into a whole new world that is going to be unlike anything that we have ever experienced, where people are going to be living from the heart. And imagine everybody in the world living from their heart and bringing their gifts into the world. It's going to be an amazing, amazing place, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road to get there, but I'm absolutely certain that
you
is where we
literally
are
led me
going.
into my next question, which I wanted to ask you, because leading into that, because I've heard you heard the term heart wall. And I want you to speak to that a little bit, because in my life, the moment I understood what it meant to open my heart, actually beyond an intellectual and an experiential, was when my life began to change. And I think, how amazing would it be if everyone could have this experience of what that truly meant and live with this coherence between the heart and the mind, and they're actually serving each other and not butting up against each other, and it became about we instead of me once that happened.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really great way to put it, Guy. So to understand about the heart, we have to go back really to the ancient societies. The Greeks, the Egyptians, the Romans, the ancient Chinese, they all believed that the heart was the seat of the soul and the source of love and creativity and romance. And they believed that the heart was really the core of our being. And there are writings, for example, in the Bible. The word heart is mentioned just shy of 1,000 times in the Bible. Um, the Egyptians believed that when you die, you go through a ceremony on the other side where your heart is weighed on a scale against a feather. And if your heart is lighter than a feather, then you go to the good place. And if not, then it's not going to work out well for you, because that's all about the kind of choices that you made and the kind of person that you were in this world. So we started doing heart transplants in the United States. Dr. Christian Barnard, I believe, was the guy that pioneered this back in the 60s. And one of the things that was interesting that they noticed was it didn't take long before people started coming back to them and reporting strange things. Like they would say that their taste in music had totally changed. And they would connect that person to the family of the heart donor. And they'd find out, well, yes, our daughter was a concert violinist. And so now you love classical music. Oh, and those particular pieces, especially you love, well, those were her favorite pieces, right? Or a guy might say, well, yeah, I never really cared for baseball before, but now I'm attending every game. Well, he found out later that the heart beating in his chest was the heart of a baseball player who had been killed in a car wreck, et cetera. So there's books written about all of this. It's called cellular memory. And so the heart is this very, very unique organ in the body. It puts out more electromagnetic energy than any other organ in the body. It's the most powerful organ in the body that way. But it's also full of gray matter and white matter, which normally you only see in the brain. And so there's a brain in the heart. And that brain contains the things that we really care about the most, the things we really love the most. Those things are in that heart brain. So when that heart gets transferred into another person, strange things can happen. Sometimes people's handwriting totally changes. And then when they're connected with the family of the heart donor, they find out, oh my gosh, yes, that's our son's handwriting that you have. And how weird is that? Because he's dead, but his heart is beating in your chest now. And now you have his handwriting. Or people would find out after a transplant surgery that they had memories of being in places that they never in their life had ever visited. Think about that. So they'd connect with the heart donor's family and they'd find out, well, you have memories. Our daughter visited Rome every year and loved Rome. And now you have memories of being in Rome, but you say you've never, ever visited Rome in your whole entire life. Those memories must have been contained in her heart somehow. So it's called cellular memory. Well, anyway, what we have found is that when a person is under some kind of assault, or when they're feeling really deeply grieved or really hurt in some way, there's a physical sensation that comes along with that. And they can feel like their heart is breaking. And those words like heartache and heartbreak are universal in every language that I've seen. And they describe that physical sensation that goes on when you feel like your heart is going to break. Can you remember a time in your life, Guy, when you felt that?
Many
Do you
times.
remember feeling that way?
Yeah.
Many times. And so what happens is your heart really is under attack when that's going on. And because the heart is the core of your being, your subconscious mind will try to protect the heart, and it will put up a wall around the heart. Now that wall is made of layers of your emotional baggage. Okay. And so to the subconscious mind, it's a wall just as real as the walls in your house. Okay. But it's invisible, and it's an energy wall. And so when this isn't something we discovered. I never would have discovered this, but it was actually shown to me in a vision that I had many years ago, 1998. And one of the first people that I saw that was suffering from this phenomenon was a 38-year-old nurse. She came in to see me because she had neck pain that a couple of other doctors had treated her for and hadn't been able to help her. So as I was talking with her, she told me that she was 38 years old, and she said she was never going to date ever again. She was going to die single, and she hadn't dated in 8 years. And she was really serious about, living as a single woman her whole entire life, and she was an attractive person, and she was only 38. And I thought, gee, that's kind of interesting. I said, what? So I asked her, so why do you feel that way? She said, 8 years before, she was really deeply in love with this guy who dumped her and broke her heart. So I tested her and found she had a heart wall. There were three emotions, three layers of trapped emotions making up this wall. So it probably took me about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to release these three emotions from that heart wall. Suddenly, the last emotion was gone, and her heart wall was gone. And guess what else was gone? Suddenly, her neck pain was gone too. That's what she'd come in for. And so I was excited. She was excited. And she left and didn't come back for 3 months. And when she came back in, I remembered her immediately. And I said, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. How are you? And she said, she said, my neck has been fine since I was here. But she said, you worked on my heart wall. You cleared that heart wall for me. And she said, that really works, because she said, about 2 weeks after I was here, I found out my childhood sweetheart has been living right around the corner from me for almost 8 years. And we're dating and we're in love. She said, I think he's going to ask me to marry him. And I thought, wow, what a shift, right? And so, we get these testimonials from all over the place, all over the world. We got one from a woman named Luann after having her heart wall removed. She said the relief is unexplainable, to the point of shedding tears of joy for the release of carrying such heavy burdens for so many years. What a wonderful feeling of release that I never dreamed would come true. Now think about it. She was carrying all those heavy burdens, didn't even realize it until she had her heart wall removed. So it's not unusual for people to fall in love, even at advanced ages. One of my favorite stories is from a couple of from one of our practitioners who told me this story. She said that her sister had gotten divorced about 9 years before. And one day she called her up and she said, listen, she said, I'm tired. She called up her sister and said, I'm tired of being alone. Can you come work on me and clear some trapped emotions and clear my heart wall? I'm tired of being alone. And so her sister came over. And so she worked on her sister over the weekend. It was on a Saturday and a Sunday. Cleared her heart wall. And neither one of them told anyone else what they were doing. They just spent the weekend together and did this work. Well, Monday, the phone started to ring. And who do you suppose it was? Well, it was guys that had known this woman, this divorced woman. And finally, because her heart was open again, see, that energy goes out into the universe, and they picked up on it subconsciously. We're all connected energetically through the quantum field. And anyway, you really have to look into this, because if you've got a heart wall, you're living your life in a handicapped kind of way, and it can stop you from finding love, and it can interfere with your ability to really achieve success, and it can interfere with your health. And so it's something that you can do for yourself, or if you want to, you can find someone that can do it for you. We have practitioners all over the world. You can go to discoverhealing.com and just click on practitioners, and we've got a Google map of the whole world. You can find somebody near you, or you can find somebody in another country, because it's done at a distance as well as live.
Amazing.
Or you can do it yourself.
Resonate with everything you said there, because I've experienced that, what it feels like to open firsthand, and it's you can't put it into words. You actually have to experience it. You think, oh my God, was I holding that? Like,
Right.
It's insane. It's insane. Just a couple of last questions before you wrap it up,
Right.
just to tie that up a little bit. Do you think people listening to this should just go and have a checkup, an emotional energy checkup with someone? Do you need to be ready for it for it to be effective and work? And like, what are your thoughts on those aspects?
Well, it's certainly not a bad idea. One of the things that people can do is, if they go to, they can go to our website at discoverhealing.com, and right at the very top of the website, they can put in their name and information, and we will send them back the first couple of chapters of the Emotion Code book, and they can they can start reading it and start understanding it. I think it's important to have an understanding of this. Um, but I mean, if you want to just go ahead and find someone that can help you right now, just go to discoverhealing.com and click on the practitioners button. We have staff practitioners. We have people all over the world. And like I said, you can find somebody in your area if you want to, or you can find somebody that's somewhere else. Just follow your heart
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
connect with whoever you want to,
Yeah, yeah. No, I've
whoever you
I've had
feel
many
guided to.
remote healing sessions on Zoom. Like actually being the receiver, I do it as a regular basis for myself now. I to kind of keep myself tuned up, and it's phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
absolutely, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wish I discovered it 20 years ago, to be honest with you. But it
yeah,
is what it is. Yeah.
right. Well, one of the things that I have told people many times is that when you start to learn this process and you play with it a little bit, uh, you're going to suddenly realize how powerful this is, and then the day will come when you'll be working with somebody. You'll be on the phone talking to a friend who's really maybe in pain, and you release some emotional baggage from them at a distance. Maybe they're thousands of miles away, and their pain level drops to zero. In that moment, your life is going to change. It'll never be the same again. Nope. And so, if you really like doing this, we have a certification program that you can go through. It's all online, and again, that's at a site. I think you can go to emotioncodecertification.com. It's inexpensive, and that's a great way to really learn it.
Amazing. All the links will be in the show notes. So anyone listening to this or watching this on YouTube, the guys will have all the links below anyway if you want to click through and go from there. What does the future hold for you, Bradley? Anything exciting coming up?
Well, we have a new book coming out on the body code. The body code is this method that I developed of Uh, you see, the imbalances that we suffer from are really the underlying causes of all of the mental, physical, and emotional problems that we suffer from. It's not just emotional baggage. Emotional baggage is about 80%. So if all you do is clear trapped emotions, about 80% of the time, you're going to knock problems right out of the park, and it'll amaze you. But then sometimes there are other underlying reasons for things, and those are things like pathogens, for example, or misalignments of things, or imbalances in the circuitry, or disconnections between the physical and the spiritual body, and so on, or traumas that are in the body, or missing deficiencies of vitamins and things like that. So the body code is a way to find all those. So that's an app that we have available online. It's called the Discover Healing app. And we're going to be changing the name of it soon to the Body Code. But anyway, um, that book is coming out early next year. We right now we have two levels of certification in our company. Discover Healing. We have Emotion Code Certification level 1. Body Code Certification is level 2. And then by the end of this year, we're hoping to have two more levels of certification. Level 3 will be the Belief Code, which is all about finding and deleting the bad beliefs you have that are not helping you, and putting in new ones. And then level 4, we're going to be calling Healing Mastery, which is kind of putting everything together and beyond. So,
Wow.
yep, we have a lot of work we're doing.
I was gonna say
Never a dull moment around here.
you're a very busy man. It's incredible, mate. It's
Yeah,
very inspiring. Very inspiring indeed.
yeah, yeah. It's a
Last
lot of fun.
question, Bradley, just to wrap it up. And I ask everyone on the show this, and that is, with everything we've covered today, is there anything you'd love to leave the listeners to ponder on?
Well, we're obviously living in a really interesting time. And that was the old Chinese curse, right? May you live in interesting times. And we are. But I just want to share with you that I know that we have a Father in heaven, a Father above who loves us, who has created everything. And he loves us with a love that we can't even begin to comprehend. And that's the purpose for everything. It's that love that emanates forth from the presence of God, that fills the immensity of space, that gives life to all things and is in all things and through all things, and that is supporting us from one moment to another as we're having this experience that we're having in this world. So it's all about love. And when people die and they go to the other side, they're never asked how big of a car they drove or how expensive their home was. Instead, they're asked questions like, how much love were you able to develop for your fellow beings in the world, and how much knowledge were you able to gain? And so we learn about what's important in this world. And the more emotional baggage you can get rid of, the closer you become to being who you were intended by the Creator to be in this world. And the easier it becomes for you to give and receive love and to become a vessel of love and a vessel of unconditional love. And that's really the big picture. That's what it's all about. Love is going to win the battle. And, the love is from the light and hate is from the dark. And love always wins eventually. So don't fear. It's all going to work out in this world. It's going to be amazing. Just hang on, hang in there.
Hang in there. Yeah. That's beautiful, Bradley. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for all that you do and what you put out to the world. It's quite incredible, mate. And I look forward to diving in a little bit more. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
You bet. Well, thank you so much, Guy. It's been really fun. And my ancestors on my mother's side were from Wales, so nice to just listen to you. Nice to just listen to your voice, listen to that accent, because it's in my DNA.
I've been out of Wales 25 years and the accent's still strong. It never goes away, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. Hang on to that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers.